Here to discuss USD versus San Diego State in the kickoff tomorrow night at Qualcomm Stadium is Aztecs head football coach Rocky Long on the Corky's Hotline on Scott and BR. Hi, Coach.
Hi, Scott. How are you?
Doing great. Yourself?
I'm doing good, thanks.
You know, we got a race here in the second race at Del Mar. You want me to put some money down for you or what?
Well, no, thanks. What's your money on?
Well, my money's on our horse. The only problem is we don't know if this horse is going to like the surface. This horse traditionally runs on the dirt, but we're going to run him on the grass, and we're going to see what happens.
Well, that's kind of like going out to the first game. We're going to see
there
what
you go.
happens.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because, Rock, as much as everybody thinks on paper you guys should steamroll USD, I'm guessing that you probably have a lot of question marks about your team playing in their first game. What are those question marks?
Well, number one, it's how we're going to play in the offensive line, how our new starting quarterback's going to play. Other than that, we got some veterans every place else, and we think they'll play well. But we have a lot of young guys that are backing up, so if we get somebody nicked, we don't know how those young guys are going to play, and you never know how the first game is going to go. And we got great respect for the other guys on the other side. They're the same age. They want to win just as bad. They're going to come to fight.
And quite frankly, that new quarterback, I mean, that's the biggest question mark you got, right?
Well, it is, because if he plays well, we're going to be good, and if he plays really well, we might be great.
Mm-hmm.
What about this offensive line, though, Rock? I would think that tomorrow night, and I'm not suggesting to you that you're going to care about statistics as the season goes on, but Donnell Pumphrey could get himself off to a really big start to the season and put up some major yards tomorrow night. But I suppose a lot of that still has to do with how this offensive line performs.
Well, of course. I mean, he's a great running back. We all know that, but he has to have some seams and some holes to get started in. And we've got some new guys up there. Our center's a new starter. Our right guard's a new starter, and then our left tackle's a new starter. So we got 3 new starters up there, and if they play well, he'll have a great game.
Rocky Long from San Diego State getting ready for the Aztecs versus USD. Coach, what are you telling your team? These kids, I'm not saying they read the paper, but they've got to know what everybody's saying about the disparity between the two programs, scholarship versus non. What are you saying to your team so that they don't believe the hype?
Well, I'm saying a lot of things to them now. It's up to them to believe me or not believe me, but I'm telling them that they're just like, they're football players on the other side that want to win the game really badly, that they're going to come and be very, very competitive and excited about playing their first game just like we should be. And you never know when you get 2 teams out there. It doesn't matter who the favorite is, who's the underdog. You start playing a game, you don't know how it's going to go until you prove that you're the kind of team you want to be.
Rock, have you ever been involved in a game, coach or player, where you've been a monster underdog and won, or a monster favorite and lost? Something that you can tell these kids about.
Well, I think it's happened here. I think we were a big favorite in 2013 when I was the head coach. We were a big favorite against Eastern Illinois and lost 40-19. So obviously we can point to that, and that's been brought up a couple times. I don't know when the last time we were a big underdog was that we won, but a few years back we were playing Boise State. They were ranked number 19 in the country, and we were playing Boise at Boise, and I'm sure we were a pretty big underdog at that time when we won the game. So it happens all the time.
And did you look back on that week before Eastern Illinois and find maybe some mistakes that the team made, that the coaching staff made in the preparation for that game?
Well, I think there were some things we could have done better as coaches, and that was addressed, obviously. And then I didn't think we played well. We turned the ball over, and we didn't play with our normal intensity and our want to that we always play with, and those kind of things happen. Plus, they had a better football team than anybody thought because they went to the semifinals in their division that year.
Rocky Long from San Diego State on Scott and BR on the Mighty 1090. Rocky, can you do us a favor and tell us about the quarterback now, Maxwell Smith? We've all heard that he played at Kentucky, that he was an SEC Freshman of the Year, that he got hurt by the time he got back. The coaching staff had changed. He pretty much lost his job. He comes here as a graduate transfer. What do you expect from a guy who's a 1-year, pardon this, but I call him a Band-Aid because he's only got the year?
Well, I mean, he's worked really hard. He came for spring practice, so he learned our offense. He's a guy that has really good technique throwing the ball, has a strong arm, has a tendency to throw it to the right guy and put it on the money, doesn't throw the ball in jeopardy very much, only threw a few interceptions. He's been in big stadiums with big crowds against really good teams. Now, I expect that early in the game he's going to be a little rusty because he hasn't actually played in a real game for a couple years. So we expect some rust, but we also expect him to, feel his way for a little while and then get comfortable with the situation and then start playing really, really well. He's a mature kid that wants to be good, and he's been accepted by his teammates, so we're expecting good things.
Rock, last thing, I'm just wondering, on paper, you look at your team, their team. I mean, do you guys outsize them everywhere, outweigh them everywhere? Is the disparity as much as we would expect?
Well, I don't think so, because what people don't realize is 4 of their 5 offensive linemen were starters last year, so they got a great group coming back there. All 4 of their defensive linemen were starters last year. They all come back there. The game starts at the line of scrimmage, and people are not giving the kind of credit they deserve for how they are at the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, and the game starts there. So if we don't handle ourselves well at the line of scrimmage, maybe the disparity in speed and all those kind of things, nobody will even see.
Mm-hmm. Well, Rock, we'll see you tomorrow night. We're looking forward to the game.
Got to be exciting, Coach.
Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, for as much as you maybe didn't like this idea when you heard about it, at least over the last couple days, front page of the sports section, it's become kind of a big story here in town, Coach.
Well, I hope it's a big deal to the community, because then maybe it'll happen more often.
That's a great point.
Absolutely.
Let's hope a lot of people come out there tomorrow night. USD fans should be out, Aztec fans, and people who just want to come out for the Sky Show. We will see what happens tomorrow night. Hey, Rocky, thank you very much, and good luck.
Thanks, Rocky.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Sure.
Real pleasure. All right. I've got San Diego State. You ready?
Yeah.
55.
5.
I was trying to do my math here real quick.
Go ahead.
55-14.